Okay, you guys, I just wanted to get on here. Um, I am juggling a lot right now because I'm in school part time. I actually have a mentor meeting this week. I'm in the I'm in the transition with moving, which isn't fun. Moving, you guys, I've gotten comfortable here in my environment, but it's time for me to leave. It's really time for me to, you know, exit the environment that I'm in, and it's been nudging at my spirit that it's time to leave. It's time to get out of this environment that I'm in. It's kind of like when you've been somewhere, you've gotten comfortable where you're at, it's a familiar area. Universe has been putting it on my spirit for the last couple of months, really since last year, that it's time to go. It's time to get in a different environment. It's time to expand. It's time to grow. It's time to get out of, the same old, same old. It's kind of like you can't grow in the same environment, doing the same thing, expecting a different result. And I've been trying like crazy to keep me and my kids in this familiar area, but it's not working out, you guys, because I'm not at peace in this environment that I'm in. Even though it's a familiar area, I've outgrown the area. And I want to be clear, because in the last live that I did, I don't want you bisexual women to think that I'm exempting you guys when I'm talking on here. I'm not exempting you guys. I'm speaking coming from my own experience as a lesbian. And, I love all women. I do. But I also understand what's going on right now with cis straight women and men. I do have a live that I am going to do sometime this week about how a lot of straight men are literally attracted to gay women, and they're mostly attracted to masculine gay women. Okay. Not so much the feminine gay women. They're really attracted to the masculine aesthetic lesbian women. Okay. And I'll have to do a live on the types of lesbians that I've dated. I have shared that on here. I tend to do better. I tend to do better with the masculine lesbians than I do with the feminine lesbians. I'll have to talk about that later. As a lesbian who is feminine, who needs to be kind of like tamed a bit, I tend to do better with masculine presenting lesbians because they can kind of calm down the dominating energy that I tend to carry. And I know you men are going to be like, well, if you can go and do that, why you just can't be with a man? Duh, because I'm not attracted to you men. So why, once again, you straight men have to find a way to center yourselves back in women's spaces. It's not about you men. It's really not about you. You don't get to choose your sexual orientation. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. If I were attracted to you men, I would date you men. That's the thing. I'm not attracted to you men. So why would you say something like that? Um, yeah, you guys, I'm just juggling a lot right now, and I got a strange feeling coming into February. It's gonna be crazy. I mean, my life wasn't always calm anyway, but with the move, and I already found the place. You guys, when I tell you the cost of living is crazy, I you guys do know that I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and buy my home. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that right now. And the reason why I'm not doing it, because it's too expensive. It's it's too expensive to buy a home right now with everything going on politically, right? And I really don't want to commit to something that I may end up changing my mind. Um, what I mean by that, let me say this, and I'm getting off topic right quick. So I made up in my mind consciously, that I'm going to start putting myself back out there in the LGBTQ world, right? Um, every lesbian knows what that means when a lesbian decides to get back out there, right? It's not per se I'm in a community or anything like that. I've never really did good in communities. What I'm saying is I've made up in my mind consciously, okay, I'm ready to start connecting with other lesbians and people. And the minute I subconsciously made that decision after being in isolation and hidden for a while, because my last girlfriend was about, you guys, it's been as long as it was my ex-husband. It's damn, I'm like really, I'm really like, I I gotta catch up on what's been going on out here, you guys. It's coming up 11 years, you guys, since my last girlfriend. Last encounter with a man would happen to be with my ex would have to be about, what did I tell you guys? Back in 2014? Yeah. It's been way over, what is it, 13, 14 years now? Yeah. Yeah, you guys, it's a long ass time, man. And when I subconsciously made up in my mind and said, okay, I'm just gonna kind of get myself out here, kind of get the feel of my people, LGBTQ people. Let me start connecting with people. Boom. I mean, the minute I subconsciously put myself back out there, I just started, being pervaded with a lot of people. It's kind of like, I don't say that in a bad way. I'm saying that in a way like I was just instantly hit with a lot of lesbians like right behind the door. And it's like, damn. It's kind of like they've been it's kind of like I've stopped the energy. They were there waiting on me to subconsciously open that door again. Um I'm just getting the feel for out here, you guys. I'm just getting the feel for out here. And my energy is starting to reconnect with you lesbian women again, because I'm starting to see you guys coming back into my channel space. I love that. I need you. I need you lesbians to come on, because I'm back home now. You know what I'm saying? I've been home, but I'm home now. Okay. The lights were off. Nobody was at home. Now the lights are on. You know that I'm home, right? So it's more of a home feeling. I'm starting to feel that vibe again with lesbian women, and I'm home now. I'm here. I'm here, right? I don't I don't know what's beyond that door, but I'm definitely home now. I just wanted to throw that out there because it's been a long time since I've actually connected with a woman. I've been in self I've been in self preservation, and I've been in hiding. And I did that intentionally because there's things that I'm working on. Like right now, I know that I wouldn't be ready for a serious relationship right now. I know that I'm not ready. I got too much going on, move going on. Things are kind of choppy in my life right now. And I'm not ready to fully commit to someone right now in a long term relationship, right? Maybe after the move, maybe once things kind of settle down in my life and there's a flow of stability, where I can have time to invest in a partner. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem connecting with women and having friends as women, and having a lover I can talk to, and we can flirt and chitty chat and shoot the shit. That I don't have a problem with. But to really, really say that this woman right here is mine and I'm for her, I can't say that right now. I can't say that right now. And I'm sitting here looking at my life, and I'm sitting here thinking about what I got to do. Like, number one, I got to get this stuff in my storage unit. I got stuff to get moved. This is a big transformation for me. And I can't let anything kind of get in the way of what I got going on for that, because me moving is a priority. It is a priority. I got to drop my kids from one school system, get them registered in a new school system. I got to get us settled. I'm going back to an area where I'm familiar with, but I know it's a good, safe area. So it's going to take some time to really, really get adjusted, right? It's going to get some time. I've been back home for about 2 years now, and it doesn't seem like 2 years. But clearly, the universe doesn't want me here. It wants me out of this environment. It wants me out of this town. But I may have to even change doctors and everything, like completely just reset. And that's pretty much what the universe wants me to do. It wants me to like completely reset my whole entire life. And I'm just trying to figure out what. It's probably gonna have. I'm probably gonna have to just start all over. That's what the energy feels like. It's feeling like it's time for me to start over with everything. And it wouldn't surprise me if I shuffle a few cards, which I did do before I went live. Some of these cards are crazy work. It's kind of like the universe needs me to do this so that things can kind of flow the way that it needs to be. It's kind of like you could be stuck in an environment and be somewhere where you're not supposed to be because you're outgrown the area. And in order for you to grow, you gotta get in a different environment around different types of people. And that is the energy that I'm feeling. And it's kind of like taking a leap of faith, not knowing what you're walking into, but you know that you got to move forward because this is the only way that you can get ahead. Well, that's what's going on, you guys. What I have to say, that I'm ready for something serious right now? No, I'm not, you guys. I'm not. I'm not even going to sit here and say that I'm ready to fully invest with the right one. If the right woman was to show up right now in my life, I would not be ready for her. I could have met her. We could be talking right now. I still wouldn't be ready. There's too much in my life that I need to do before I can even commit to somebody. Um, Truthfully, I need the next 3 to 4 months to do what I need to do. I need to take care of what I need to take care of, right? Move, get situated. I have business things that I got to work on. And right now, I have not had a chance to update the website. Nope. I told you guys last week that I was going to do that, right? I haven't had a chance to do that. There's going to be a little bit of a delay with that. But I did tell you guys that I would work on it for this week here. So I'm still in that window. I have not figured out what I want this year's newsletters to look like for the website. I have not even begun to brainstorm that. I know for a fact Friday I have a meeting with a client, and I may be able to work on it the weekend. I was in class today. I did go back to class today to work on an assignment. I have to go back into class tomorrow. I have a meeting on Wednesday. I have another meeting on Thursday. And then Friday, I have a meeting. So 2 of these days or 3 of these days, I have meetings. When I tell you guys, my life is just so busy outside of here, it is. It really is. I still have to play around with some business stuff. Um, I have legal things going on right now that I haven't even disclosed on here. Why? Because my ex wants to make it very hard for me. Why do you men keep doing this? Why do you guys keep trying to interfere in women's lives, man? Just Live your life and go on about your business. If this woman is your ex, you men just cannot leave women alone, even when we tell you to leave us alone. You guys gotta find a way to interfere in women's lives and disrupt what women got going on. You men really don't want to see women happy, man. And my ex, y'all know that I went to court last year for him 4 times. And here we got to go back to court again at some point in time over the next couple of months. And because he wants to make things so hard and so complicated when it really doesn't have to be this way. And it's kind of like these men, if they're not happy, they don't want you to be happy. You know, and it's crazy work how even when women decenter you men, you guys still got to find a way to pull on women's energy some kind of way. And this is why I don't pour into men. I don't give men the time of day. You guys, my ex just called me out of nowhere to annoy the fuck out of me about my daughter and her and some hot curling broads up at his house over the weekend. And I was just so nonchalant, kind of like how I am on here. And he was like, "Can I speak to my daughter?" And I'm like, "No, you're not gonna speak to your daughter. I'm on my phone playing the game." Like, I literally just got out of class and just wrote a paper literally on probiotics and, you know, the gut and the digestive system, et cetera, et cetera. Because that's what we're talking about in class this week, right? And I was just so nonchalant, and I just really didn't want to talk to him. He created a scenario that really didn't happen just to get attention from me when he has a wife. And when I hung up from him, I told my daughter I knew the hot curling rods were not in her bedroom, and he just called just to get attention. This is what you men do. You guys just need attention from women. And even if you're married, you still need to get attention from women. Because that's how miserable and insufferable you men are. That's how miserable and insufferable you men are. Where you just cannot go a day without nagging or harassing or annoying a woman. And I just don't know how you straight women can do it every day, all day. Number one, I don't have the patience. I don't have the mental, and I don't have the emotional in depth to deal with you men like that. I just don't know how you women can deal with it. I don't get it. And it brings me to my live that I wanted to address tonight, right quick. That I see you bisexual women, but you guys, y'all really got a challenge with these men out here. Y'all do. Because y'all have the benefit of dealing with men, but at the same time, it's so much drama with these men and y'all. And don't get this twisted. That you bisexual women, y'all better pay attention to these straight women out here. Because if the straight women are not happy with the men, then you're not going to be happy with the men either. Okay. Hell, I'm not even dating these men, and I feel for both sets of y'all. I feel for you bisexual women. I feel for you gay men. I feel for you bisexual men. And I feel for you straight women. Because y'all really got a challenge dealing with these men out here. But if the straight women are not happy with these men, you're not going to be happy with these men either. None of you gay men, bisexual men, none of you bisexual women, none of y'all gonna be happy, man. And you know, y'all, I see y'all. Y'all deserve love. Y'all really do. Y'all really do, because nobody pays attention to the B in the community too much. Nobody pays attention to you bisexual women out here. Like I told you guys, I don't have a problem dating y'all, but boundaries are gonna have to be put in place, because some of y'all can be on some conniving stuff too. And even though I've had my negative experiences with you guys, it's not going to change the fact that I still love women. Because at the end of the day, we're all women, right? We're all women. But it's, oh, and you trans men and women, y'all got it in too with these men. Because I saw that little panel that you guys did over there on TikTok, and how these straight men keep coming for y'all. I don't, this weird obsession. Yeah, I see that too. But it is a challenge. It is a challenge, you guys. It is a challenge. Um, y'all deserve love, and I understand that you guys want to date lesbians, and we're the biggest cheerleaders for you guys, right? But at the same time, where the mishap is where a lot of people think that the lesbian community is big, and it's really not big. So when I hear men say 75% of women initiate divorce with their wives in the LGBT community, I'm like, when women are initiating divorce? Because the lesbian community is very small. And there's not that many women out here who are lesbian. There's plenty of bisexual women out here who are married to um, bisexual women. And my thing is, why don't you bisexual women date each other? Why? What's wrong with you guys dating each other? You guys' community is the biggest compared to lesbians. It's very hard for a lesbian to date a lesbian. It's very hard. It's very rare. It's not about you just getting with the lesbian and calling it a day. There has to be compatibility. There has to be connection. There has to be a lot of things for this lesbian woman to date this lesbian woman. You know, it's really not that simple to date within your own community. It's really not. It's very hard for two lesbians to get together. So when we do find each other, it's kind of like a breath of fresh air. Um, like I told you guys, I'm used to dating feminine and dominant types of lesbians. Aesthetic wise, meaning some of these lesbians that I've dated dress very feminine, and some of them that I've dated dress very masculine. It really doesn't matter to me. It's just how they want to present themselves. But at the end of the day, sexuality is what it is, right? We're all women, right? Um, it's very hard. It's very hard to find a lesbian that you're compatible with. A lot of times, lesbians do end up dating bisexual women because we simply cannot find another lesbian that we can connect with. Um, is that a possibility for me if I do get really back out here and date again? Yeah, it is a possibility that I may end up with a bisexual woman, you know. But and I have met some dominating bisexual women, more dominating and aggressive than the lesbians. But at the end of the day, I just wanted to let you guys know that we haven't forgotten y'all, because you guys are like the forgotten community. That's what we call the bisexual community, the forgotten community, because nobody really pays attention to the bisexuals of the community. Uh, we see y'all, and y'all deserve love, and y'all deserve happiness, and everybody does. But we have to also understand that everybody has a preference out here. There are some lesbians out here who are not going to date a bisexual. There are some lesbians out here who are not going to date a straight woman. There are just, everybody has a preference to who they want to date. And I think we need to understand and respect that. Um, what is my preference? To be with another lesbian, because I really don't have time for the drama. And I don't have time to be weeding through the BS to date you and all of the drama that comes with the men that most of you women still want to have access to. Now, are there lesbians out here who pretend to be lesbian but they're really not? Yeah. And I think a lot of people who use that and do that are women who try to avoid men because they don't want to date men. They're not attracted to that man, or they're rejecting him a different type of way. I really wish you guys would stop doing that and just tell these men you're not into them, because these men don't think that lesbianism is a real thing, and it is, until they come across a certain type of woman like myself, and then we reject them, and then they don't know how to handle that level of rejection. And I'm getting tired of having to keep explaining myself to these men, because it's becoming like a daytime job to keep telling you men where I stand with you in my sexuality. I shouldn't even have to explain my rejection to you. Me simply telling you that I'm not interested in you should simply be enough. I shouldn't even have to explain to you that I'm gay. I shouldn't have to explain anything to you men. But just the mere fact that you men are so entitled, this is why women have to do what we do, to get you to understand that not every woman out here wants to have access to you or anything like that. In your mind, you think that because this is how entitled a lot of you men are. But in actuality, we're not interested in you the way that you think we are. We're just really not. So, you know, I just wanted to get on here to drop this, you guys, because a lot of bisexual women think that we're being biphobic when we don't date them. And that's not what's happening. That lesbian that you're approaching may have a preference, and she may not want to give you the time or day because she has a preference. And like I told you guys in the last live, I don't want to end up in a situation where I'm dating a woman. We've been talking for a while. We've been connecting. And then the next thing I know, I'm put in a position where now you got to choose between this man that you've been hiding from me and me. And I don't want to get in that kind of position. I like free flowing energy. I don't like stagnant energy. I don't like people who play these types of games and string people along, and you're not sincere in your sexuality orientation. Like that right there will make me not want to deal with you at all, period. If you got to do all that and pretend to be somebody that you're not. And this is why when I knew that I was attracted to women, I had to be true to myself and true to my ex and true to my family. Where the hell I stood with my orientation, and it was my ex who chose to continue to pursue me despite knowing that I was attracted to women. And when I felt like this was not right, I had to end things with him, and I'm glad I did, because he deserved to be happy. I deserve to be happy, and I'm happy that he's with somebody that can do that for him, despite she's bisexual too. So I and this is why you men need to stop trying to pursue women when they're young, because women hit into their sexuality peak in their 30s. In their late 20s, early 30s, they really begin to kind of tap into their sexuality stuff. And when you men are trying to pursue women young, you're not even giving these women time to self-discover themselves, to learn about themselves, because you're already trying to ruin them by the time they even live. A good analogy would be you men would take a beautiful butterfly and clip its wings, and that's literally what you men do. These women don't even have time to know what they really want out of life by the time you men are trying to hunker them down and get married to them and put a baby in them. And then, when they get in their 30s, like most lesbians do, late lesbians, because I'm a late lesbian. Well, not technically a late lesbian, because I came out in my early 20s. I take that back. But a lot of women who eventually came out in their 30s as a lesbian, these were the women who were hunkered down by you men at one point in time, forced into marriage with you due to religion, conservative family, traditionalism, or something like that. And these women hid their sexuality from you and their family in the church to appease society. You men should really stop trying to force women to be something that they're not and allow these women to live in their authentic life. And a lot of lesbians do hide their sexuality because of the church, because of religion, because of their family, because of fear of what society is going to say and do, and so on. So a lot of women do hide that. What you men do is you interfere in women's sexuality orientation. And I was in my early 20s when I told my ex that I wasn't into it. And there was nothing that he could do about it but accept it. But I had to be true to myself, and I had to end the relationship with him because it wasn't fair to me or him. And I think you men need to understand that there are women out here who know themselves, and we know what we want when it comes to a partner. We know that it's not you. You're not attracted to. And if you men want the experience of having a woman who is queer, that would be bisexual women. That they fall under the umbrella of queer. Okay, you can go look this up. Bisexuality, acronym for queer community. Lesbians are our own separate community, and we are strictly attracted to women. Okay, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. That's just what it is. Is my wife out there? Of course she's out there. Yes, she's out there. It's just a matter of us crossing paths and meeting. Uh, Hopefully, I don't meet her right now. I am definitely not ready for her right now. No, I'm going through a transformation. I'm going through a transition right now, and I'm just not ready to meet her right now. I'm not in the mental space. I'm not in the emotional space. I'll be glad when I can get this move over with, because it's time for me to. It's you kind of know when it's time for you to leave somewhere. Well, that's what it feels like for me. It's time for me to go, you guys. Um, I've outgrown the area. The journey ends here in my current environment. It just feels like it's time to let go of what no longer serves me and where I'm at, and that's what it feels like. Um, that's what it feels like, you guys. And it's like the longer I continue to be here, the more frustrated and angry I become being here, because it's been way overdue. I should have been left, if that makes any sense. And every time I try to convince myself that it's not time for me to go, something happens that pushes me on out the door that conveys why I need to leave, if that makes any sense. So uh, it's time. It's time, and the soul know when it's time to leave. Um, when it's time to, go through these changes, and you go through this transformation, but it's kind of like resetting everything, and letting go of what no longer serves me and what needs to be released so that better can come along. And that's what it feels like. Um, in shorter terms, I'm getting more frustrated in the environment than I am at peace. So I'm at a point right now, anything that disrupts what I got going on or what I'm trying to do, I have to like release it. And a lot of people need to be released out of my life because they're not serving anything. And if I'm going to build with somebody, we need to be locked in mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. There has to be a connection on all levels. And there has to be effort on all levels. I mean, literally, and that's how I look at relationships. We're gonna build, but there needs to be effort at all levels to make a relationship work. And if one side is putting in more work than the other side, then it's not gonna work. But anyways, I'm gonna get off of here, you guys. It's back to school for my kids. It's back to class for me in the morning. And I've been resting these last couple of days, catching up on sleep. Um, it's just been great. It's been real great. I will go ahead and work on that newsletter. It's not going to be a big newsletter because we're already halfway in the month of January. I am going to touch the important dates uh, for the month of January and get a newsletter going. I may do something a little bit different with the newsletters, you guys. I don't know. I haven't decided how I'm going to tackle that right now. And that's kind of why I haven't put one up there. So we shall see how I do that this year. I may not put a newsletter up at all this year. I may just continue to update you guys in my community wall on the website like I typically do. Since my hours have changed on the website and how I'm doing business. So we shall see. I may not put a newsletter up at all, you guys. I may just put some small updates in the community news section of the website, and that's just to keep you guys informed. Technically, my practice is open, but technically, it's not because I mean my hours have changed. Like today, my practice was closed due to Martin Luther King Day. I didn't put an announcement there, but I'm typically closed on Mondays, and I only do intake. So technically, I am open on Tuesdays. But by today being a holiday, I would typically see my clients on intake tomorrow. So I may put an announcement there where I'm doing intakes tomorrow and just resume back on Wednesday. I don't know. So, anyways, I'm gonna get off of here. Every Monday I do intakes, you guys. Every Monday. So in order for you to schedule with me, you got to go through an intake process. So uh, I'm gonna update some stuff, you guys, this weekend. This weekend. You guys have a good night. I am gonna do that live. I'm gonna do that live. Here soon, you guys, because I think that's gonna be interesting for you women to understand what's going on with these men who are covering themselves behind lesbian women when in actuality they won't be. A lot of these men out here they want men, but they're using lesbians as a beard. Just like many of them are using you straight women as a beard, a lot of them are using lesbian women as a beard. because they like the masculine energy in women. So why wouldn't they just go and date a man? Because a lot of these men don't like men. They don't like men. So that's why they don't want to get in relationships with men, because they don't like men either. But a lot of them hate you because they're really down low and gay, and they just don't know how to come out. So they can find in us good old lesbians and talk about how they really feel about men and women. And I've had straight men do this, where they tell me that they hate women, they're not attracted to women, but at the same time, they don't know how to come out and be attracted to a man. So they really need lesbians to help them to embrace their sexuality. And a lot of them do try to be intimate with us because they don't know how to come out with their sexuality with men. Men who hate women and who do not like women are gay. They're gay. And instead of these men just accepting that they're gay, accepting their sexuality, they would rather keep hiding behind women and masking themselves. And I am going to do a live about that this week. But I do appreciate you guys from the LGBT community coming over and chitty chatting with me and interacting with me in the community section. I appreciate that. And I want you guys to give me feedback. Let me know how you feel about what I'm saying up here, because the men over here have convinced themselves that I'm not really gay. And, I just haven't met the right man yet. When I'm not even checking for a man. Right now, I'm not checking for nobody. But if I was, it would not be you men. I want a woman, and that's just what it is. And I know you men have done this on Gazelle's channel too. Another LGBTQ channel that's LGBTQ. You men just keep doing this. Y'all need to learn how to adapt to the fact that there are other sexualities out here. And it's not just heteronormality stuff. And you need to get used to the fact that women are going to date women, and there's nothing you can do about it. And no, not every one of us wants to date your straight wives and girlfriends. Accept that too. And if these women are leaving you, it's because you're just not on your job. And I don't want these women to come over here thinking that we're going to clean up the mess that you men have messed up over there. Because I cannot deal with that. I'm not going to deal with that. I am used to dealing with women who have decentered you and women who don't really deal with you men. That would be lesbians. Okay. And if you're none of those things as a woman, it's going to be complex for a woman like me to deal with you. I commend the gay women who deal with straight women. I commend you. I can't do it. I can't do it. Ain't no way in hell I could do that one. And if you can deal with her and all of that comes with her leaving her husband and boyfriend to be with you, I commend you. I guess y'all like the challenge. I'm not up for it. I don't have the patience for that. And I have met straight women who have come on to me and thought that I could replace their husband. I can't do that. These women are all bruised and broken and all hurting and need to be healed. And then they come over here, they use us good lesbians, and then they go back to these men. And we need to learn how to stop being used like that, women, ladies, lesbians, because I can't do that. No. I can't do that one there. Nope. And I told y'all how the patriarchal system messes up every community, man. LGBT community. I mean, look at what's going on. What Trump is doing is messing up every community. And this is what the patriarchal system does. It just ruins everything. And it corrupts every community. Literally every community has been impacted because of this administration. And this man has done this all within a certain amount of time. And it's just crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, you guys, I'm going to get off of here. It's cold and I have no jacket on and I'm doing this live. I got kind of overheated too. So I'm going to end this live and I will continue on with this and other LGBTQ conversations at a later time, and my coming out story and how that's been, and oh man, the fact that my family's Christian and homophobia, and how I had to let friends go who don't support the LGBT community. And yeah, I got stories to share for days, you guys. I got stories to share. You guys have a good night.